don't know about you, fellow graduates, but never would I have ever imagined when I started my executive master's degree in philanthropic studies 6 years ago that I would be graduating during a global pandemic. And I bet you didn't either. When I began my program the summer of 2014, I was living the life of a well rested, fresh eyed young newlywed and was a leadership annual giving officer at another Big Ten university, the University of Wisconsin Madison. I remember coming to campus for a week-long residency that summer, where I left behind my husband and our two dogs to meet my fellow philanthropic studies classmates, faculty, and our most excellent program staff who helped us to map out our academic adventure. Mine admittedly did take a little longer than I originally expected. My very favorite part of that whole week-long residency was spending time with my classmates in the Joseph and Matthew Payton Philanthropic Studies Library. We even got to see material from the Ruth Lilly Special Collections and Archives, and folks, there is nothing more exciting to a philanthropic studies scholar than being surrounded by equally nerdy classmates as well as primary research material. We even got to meet our very own philanthropic studies librarian, who showed us one of the nation's first written fundraising strategic plans. What a thrill that day was. I loved every moment and carried that enthusiasm for philanthropy with me not only into my program, but into my everyday work in the philanthropic sector. There was something very powerful about being in the philanthropic library surrounded by primary research material. I think it was in that moment, so early in my academic career, that I began to truly realize and understand how very important the philanthropic studies field is. My classmates and I were surrounded by so many important stories that illustrate the power of philanthropy in society. Throughout the course of history, society's biggest challenges have been met, and the world has improved because of individuals, communities, and the power of philanthropy. I think that understanding the power of philanthropy is one of the most important things that my fellow graduates and I have to remember as we take what we've learned throughout our coursework into practice. We are all so incredibly privileged to have had the opportunity to study and learn about philanthropy at what is recognized as the world's first and very best program of its kind. We are trained to innovate and lead and to create positive and lasting change in our communities and the world. This is a tall order, my friends. Our academic journey has led each and every one of us down a path of critical inquiry, interdisciplinary research, teaching, training, and civic engagement. Our training and academic learning has positioned us as leaders in the philanthropic field. I am the Chief Development Officer for the Ohio State University Libraries, another Big Ten university. Somehow through all of this, I managed to balance my final classes in the program with an increasingly demanding career, a couple cross-country moves, and raising an energetic toddler. Thank goodness for the flexible virtual learning options we've all had. All of you have similar stories of the great balancing act that is necessary for finishing a rigorous degree. Some of you, like me, also work in frontline fundraising. I know because I added all of you on LinkedIn. Others in our graduating class are board members, professors, nonprofit consultants. Some of us have devoted our careers to higher education. Some of us work with youth and at-risk communities, and others yet are in corporate responsibility teams. Some of you are continuing your academic studies, and others are still deciding your next steps in what is certainly an uncertain world. It is no secret that we are graduating today in a challenging time in our history. But I know that my fellow graduates and I will continue to rise to meet the world's challenges. We have learned in our coursework that throughout history, our society has always come together to rise up and meet whatever challenge is thrown our way. Philanthropy and civic society will continue to be the very center of the positive changes we need in the world. It will take all of us as leaders in the philanthropic field to inspire our teams, our organizations, our communities, and the world through this crisis together. It is up to each and every one of us to help our communities to chart a course forward in these uncertain and challenging times. And lucky for us and for our communities that we have been given the tools we need to navigate, to lead, to think creatively, thoughtfully, and bravely. It is an uncertain world out there. The world we found ourselves in the beginning of the semester is different than the one we are living in today, our graduation day. The world today is nothing like I imagined it would be when I started my academic journey 6 years ago. But one thing that we know for certain is that people and the power of philanthropy is going to get us through this. It will take all of us to get together through all of this together. We will emerge stronger when we are through it, and I know the world is in good hands with all of you leading and helping to navigate the philanthropic sector through our current crisis and whatever else may come our way throughout our careers. I wish all of my fellow graduates not only good luck on their journeys, but in this uniquely challenging time, I also wish you health, strength, patience, and inspiration. May you all share all of that with your families, communities,